Isn't it fascinating, the way we live? We chase the latest fad, the newest gadget, the quick fix. We scroll through endless feeds, hoping to find the one magic trick, the single secret, the hidden shortcut that will finally give us the life we've always wanted. We buy the courses, we read the books, we listen to the podcasts, all promising a revolution. And then, a week later, we're back to where we started. We're in the same loop, caught in the same current, telling ourselves the same old story. What if I told you the secret isn't a secret at all? What if the shortcut is the longest, most difficult road you'll ever walk? What if the one thing that could transform your life isn't a habit you add, but a belief you abandon? What if the real revolution begins not with a change in what you do, but with a change in who you think you are? Think for a moment about the people you admire, the ones who seem to have it all figured out, the titans of industry, the visionaries, the quiet giants who move mountains with a whisper. Do you think they woke up one morning and stumbled into greatness? Do you think Thomas Edison accidentally invented the light bulb on his first try? He failed thousands of times. Thousands. Imagine that for a moment. The sheer crushing weight of that much failure. But to him, they weren't failures. They were thousands of ways that didn't work. Each one a piece of data, a step forward. His belief wasn't in a single successful outcome. His belief was in the process. His belief was in himself, in his own mind's power to solve the problem. This is the core of it. The architecture of your life is built on the foundation of your beliefs, not the casual ones you post on social media, but the deep foundational beliefs you hold about yourself. The quiet voice in your head that says, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not disciplined enough, or I'm not lucky enough. We spend our entire lives acting as living proof of these subconscious convictions. Our reality becomes a mirror of what we truly believe about ourselves. We unconsciously seek out situations that validate our internal story, even if that story holds us back. Napoleon Hill didn't just write a book. He codified a philosophy. He observed the most successful men of his era, Carnegie, Ford, Rockefeller, and he found one common thread, not a secret formula, not a mystical chant, but a deeply held, unwavering conviction that their thoughts had power. They weren't just thinking about what they wanted. They were acting from a place of absolute certainty that they would achieve it. It's the difference between wishing for a thing and knowing it is inevitable. The first is a fleeting thought. The second is a force of nature. So the first step, the one that precedes all others, is to become an archaeologist of your own mind. Dig through the layers of doubt, fear, and insecurity. Unearth the beliefs you inherited from your past, from your family, from society, and from every little setback you've ever faced. And then, one by one, examine them. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this serving me? Is this the story I want to keep telling myself? Because until you tear down the old foundation, you can't begin to build a new one. Once you've cleared the ground, you need a blueprint, a vision, not just a vague idea of being successful, but a crystal clear, soul-etching image of what that looks like. This isn't a wish list. This is a command. It's the difference between saying, I'd like to have a successful business, and writing down with unflinching detail. By December 31, 2026, I will have a digital marketing agency that generates $500 in annual revenue, serving 25 clients and operating from a remote team of 10. Walt Disney didn't just want to build a theme park. He had a vision so vivid, so all-consuming, that he could describe every detail before a single shovel of dirt was turned. He saw the castle, the rides, the joy on the faces of the children. He saw it so clearly that he could get others to see it, to believe in it, and to help him build it. Even after his death, the vision lived on. His vision was so powerful it outlived him. Your vision must be your North Star. It's the single point on the horizon that you navigate toward, no matter the storm. It's the thing you wake up for, the reason you push through the resistance. the purpose that gives meaning to the struggle. And a vision without a plan is just a daydream. This is where clarity meets conviction. You must be able to articulate your vision with such precision that it becomes a tangible goal, a destination with a map. This is not a passive exercise. This is a creative act. You are the architect of your future. Take the time today to write it down. Get specific. Get granular. Don't hold back. What does your ideal day look like? What kind of person are you? What impact are you making? What does the world look like because you were here? Don't just answer these questions in your head. Put them on paper. This is the sacred act of turning the invisible into the tangible. This is the first step in bending reality to your will. The world is full of brilliant people with fantastic ideas. They are full of potential, full of dreams, full of someday. They have the vision, they have the belief, but they lack the one thing that separates the dreamers from the doers: action. The bridge between the imaginary and the real is built with nothing but consistent, disciplined action. Andrew Carnegie, the industrial titan, didn't just have a vision for steel. He built a system. He worked with a singular, relentless focus. He knew that the grand vision had to be broken down into a series of small, daily, and often mundane actions. He wasn't afraid of the grind. He embraced it. He understood that success is not a sprint. It's a marathon of consistent, deliberate steps. This is where the magic happens, and it's also where most people fall off. We want the grand outcome without the tedious process. We want the finished symphony without the years of practicing scales. But the universe doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to effort. It responds to the energy you put into it, the daily discipline, the commitment to the process, even when you don't feel like it. So, what does this look like in practice? It's not about finding the time, it's about making the time. It's about scheduling your non-negotiable task into your calendar as if they were a doctor's appointment. It's about setting a single high-leverage task for your day and refusing to go to bed until it's done. It's about the relentless pursuit of progress over perfection. It's about getting back up after a setback, not just once, but every single time. It's about the habit of execution. It is the one habit that underpins all others. This is where you become an alchemist, turning your intentions into tangible results. It's not about big, sweeping gestures. It's about the small, almost imperceptible decisions you make every single day. The choice to get up an hour earlier. The choice to read that book instead of watching television. The choice to make that one difficult phone call. These are the tiny stones that build the great cathedral of your life. Don't underestimate their power. You've set your vision, you've taken action, you're on the path. But there is a silent saboteur that can derail even the most determined individual: a lack of gratitude. We live in a culture of more money, more followers, more accolades. We are constantly looking at what we don't have, comparing our lives to the curated highlight reels of others. We become so focused on the destination that we forget to appreciate the journey. This is a profound mistake. Gratitude isn't just a nice-to-have emotion. It's a strategic tool. It's a lens through which you can see the progress you've made, the resources you have, and the opportunities that are already in front of you. It shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. It refills your well of motivation when it runs dry. It keeps you grounded, humble, and open to the next lesson. Think of Henry Ford. He revolutionized industry, but he never lost sight of the daily work, the people who made it all possible. He was constantly innovating, but his success was built on a foundation of recognizing the value in the process and in the people around him. The habit of gratitude is simple, but its effects are profound. Start and end your day by writing down 3 things you are genuinely grateful for. It could be something as grand as a breakthrough in your business, or as simple as the warmth of your morning coffee. This isn't a spiritual exercise, it's a psychological one. It trains your mind to look for the good, to see the blessings, and to build an internal state of abundance, which is the most fertile ground for growth. Gratitude connects you to the present moment and grounds you in the reality of your progress. It's the fuel that keeps you going when the road gets tough, reminding you of how far you've come. It's the quiet voice that says you are enough and you have enough right now. The path to greatness is not a straight line. It is a jagged, winding, and often treacherous road. You will be knocked down. You will face rejection. You will experience failure. This is not a possibility. It is a certainty. The question is not if you will fall, but what you will do when you do. This is where resilience is forged. This is where the true character of a person is revealed. Abraham Lincoln faced a lifetime of defeat before he became president. He failed in business, lost elections, and suffered personal tragedy. But he never stopped. He got up every single time. He learned, he adapted, he grew stronger. His resilience wasn't just a trait, it was the crucible in which his greatness was forged. Resilience is not about being tough, it's about being malleable. It's about the ability to bend without breaking. It's about seeing a setback not as an end, but as a redirection. It's about having the courage to look at a failure, extract the lesson, and move on. It's the habit of learning from every experience, good or bad. How do you build this? You don't avoid failure, you embrace it. You create a safe space to try new things and fail fast. You stop attaching your self-worth to the outcome and start attaching it to the effort. You build a support system of mentors and peers who can help you see the lessons you might be missing. You develop a strong inner dialogue that speaks to you with compassion and resolve, not with criticism. Resilience is the shock absorber of life. It's the quality that allows you to maintain your momentum and your faith even when the world seems to be conspiring against you. It's the deep, abiding belief that you can and you will overcome. In a world that is changing at an unprecedented pace, the one constant is the need to learn. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing. And the moment you stop growing, you start to die. The most successful people in history, from Leonardo da Vinci to Elon Musk, have all been insatiable learners. They read voraciously, they question everything, and they are never afraid to admit what they don't know. This is the habit of intellectual curiosity. It's the commitment to being a student for life. It's the discipline of carving out time every day to read, to listen, to learn from people who are smarter than you. It's about being open to new ideas and challenging your own preconceived notions. This isn't just about formal education. It's about the informal daily commitment to personal growth. It's about reading a biography of someone you admire. It's about taking a course on a skill you need to develop. It's about listening to a podcast that challenges your worldview. It's about having conversations with people from different backgrounds and perspectives. The habit of learning is your greatest competitive advantage. It keeps you relevant, it keeps you innovative, and it keeps you in a state of perpetual evolution. It's the antidote to stagnation. It's the fuel for a mind that is constantly expanding and adapting. So, what is the one habit? The one habit that could transform your life? It isn't a single action. It's a synthesis. It's the relentless daily commitment to building yourself. It's the habit of self-mastery. It's the discipline of controlling your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, and your focus. It's the conscious decision to show up every single day and build the person you were meant to be. The one habit is the habit of making choices that align with your highest self. It's the choice to believe in yourself when no one else does. It's the choice to create a clear vision and chase it relentlessly. It's the choice to take action even when you're afraid. It's the choice to be grateful for what you have and resilient in the face of what you don't. It's the choice to never stop learning, never stop growing. This isn't a journey you start one day and finish the next. This is the work of a lifetime. It's the continuous, never-ending process of becoming. And the most powerful thing you can do is to start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today, right now. Because the one habit that could transform your life is simply this: the habit of deciding to begin, deciding to take control, deciding to show up, deciding to become the person who is capable of achieving the things you dream of. The question isn't whether you can do it. The question is whether you will. The choice, as it has always been, is yours. You've done the internal work. You've forged your beliefs, sculpted your vision, and committed to relentless action. But there's a final critical piece of the puzzle, one that separates the solitary striver from the unstoppable force. This is the principle of the mastermind. Napoleon Hill didn't just study successful individuals, he studied their relationships. He saw that nearly every titan he interviewed, from Ford to Carnegie, didn't work in a vacuum. They surrounded themselves with a small, trusted circle of brilliant minds, a collective of people who shared a common vision, a group that brought diverse skills, experiences, and perspectives to the table. This isn't just networking, it's a strategic alliance. It's the conscious act of surrounding yourself with people whose energy, intellect, and ambition elevate your own. Think of it like this: your brain is a powerful engine, but when you connect your mind to other powerful minds, something incredible happens. A third mind is created, a collective intelligence far greater than the sum of its parts. It's the difference between a single candle and a bonfire. The bonfire not only burns brighter, but also casts a wider circle of light and warmth. Today, this principle is more accessible than ever. The modern mastermind isn't limited to boardrooms and exclusive clubs. It can be a group of entrepreneurs on a video call, a collective of artists sharing feedback online, or a small group of friends who hold each other accountable to their goals. The key is intentionality. You are not just hanging out. You are collaborating with purpose. You are seeking out people who will challenge your assumptions, celebrate your wins, and support you through your failures. These people are not your cheerleaders. They are your fellow architects. The habit of building a mastermind is the habit of choosing your influences wisely. It's the courageous act of shedding friendships that drain your energy and seeking out connections that fuel your fire. It's about being generous with your own knowledge and time, understanding that the more you give, the more you receive. It's the realization that your journey to success is not a solo mission, but a grand collective adventure. So, let's tie it all together. What is the one habit that could transform your life? It's not a single trick. It's a symphony of disciplines, a collection of conscious choices. It's the habit of self-mastery, a relentless commitment to becoming the person you were always meant to be. It's the habit of believing in yourself and abandoning the old stories of doubt. It's the habit of seeing a future so vividly it becomes your present. It's the habit of acting with unyielding discipline, even when the results aren't yet visible. It's the habit of gratitude, finding strength in the small wins and the blessings you already possess. It's the habit of resilience, treating every setback not as an end, but as a lesson. It's the habit of learning, staying curious and hungry for growth. And it's the habit of connection, building a mastermind of people who will push you, challenge you, and grow with you. This is the code. This is the philosophy. This is the habit. It's not something you add to your to-do list. It's a way of being. It is the conscious decision to stop living a life of reaction and start living a life of creation. The question isn't if you have the potential. The question is if you have the will. The universe is waiting for you to make your move. Will you? The world, as you know it, is a tempest. It is a constantly shifting landscape of unexpected challenges, rapid technological change, and unforeseen crises. To stand still is to be left behind, and to be rigid is to be shattered. The very essence of survival and of true success is not strength alone, but the unwavering strength of adaptability. Think of the old guard, the behemoths of industry who clung to the old ways. Blockbuster didn't believe in streaming. Kodak, for a time, scoffed at digital photography. They were masters of their domain, but they were masters of a world that no longer existed. They were too rigid to bend, and so they broke. But then you have a figure like Elon Musk, who has not just adapted to change, but has become its very architect. He moves from PayPal to SpaceX to Tesla, not by following a single path, but by constantly seeing what's next, what's possible, and being willing to completely reinvent the rules of the game. This is not a passive trait. It is a conscious habit. It is the habit of detaching your ego from your methods and attaching it to your mission. It's the willingness to let go of a strategy that no longer works, even if you've invested years in it. It is the courage to admit when you were wrong and the intellectual humility to learn a new way. It's about being like water. It can be a gentle stream or a raging river, but it always finds a way forward. This habit of adaptability requires a deep trust in your own core principles, even as you change your approach. You must know your why so profoundly that it can survive the complete obliteration of your what and your how. Your purpose is the anchor. Your methods are the sails. Be prepared to change your sails with every shift in the wind. The one who wins is not the strongest or the fastest, but the one who can adjust to the conditions of the race. Many believe discipline is a burden, a form of self-punishment. They see it as a rigid cage, a joyless routine. This is a profound misunderstanding. True discipline is the highest form of self-love. It is the act of choosing what you want most over what you want right now. It is the quiet daily commitment to your long-term vision, even when short-term temptations call to you like sirens. Consider the great artists, the master athletes, the scientific geniuses. Their brilliance didn't come from a flash of inspiration alone. It came from countless hours of painstaking, monotonous practice. Michelangelo didn't just paint the Sistine Chapel. He spent years in a cold, uncomfortable position, meticulously applying brushstroke after brushstroke. Michael Jordan wasn't just a natural. He was the first one in the gym and the last one to leave. Their greatness was born not of talent, but of discipline. The habit of discipline is the habit of making commitments to yourself and then honoring them. It is the simple act of doing what you said you were going to do, even when the motivation has long since faded. It is the secret weapon of the successful, because it's the one thing that separates the dreamers from the doers. To cultivate this, you must start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one habit, a single, non-negotiable action, and commit to it for 30 days. It could be waking up 15 minutes earlier, reading 10 pages of a book, or exercising for 20 minutes. The point is not the magnitude of the action, but the consistency of the commitment. You are not building a habit. You are building a new identity. You are becoming a person who keeps their promises to themselves. And once you do that, there is nothing you cannot achieve. We've talked about what you can see and touch, beliefs, visions, and actions. But there is a silent, unseen partner in your journey, a power far greater than your conscious mind. This is your subconscious mind. It is the master of your destiny, the engine that powers your reality. Your conscious mind is the captain, giving orders. Your subconscious mind is the crew, executing those orders with relentless efficiency, whether they are good or bad. This is the principle that Hill discovered in his work with the greats. They understood that their thoughts were not just fleeting whispers in the wind. They were commands. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It accepts what you feed it as absolute truth. When you constantly fill your mind with doubt, fear, and scarcity, your subconscious goes to work, orchestrating events and circumstances to validate those beliefs. It's why so many people get exactly what they fear. But the reverse is also true. When you feed your subconscious with a clear, vivid vision of your success, when you visualize it, feel it, and speak it as if it has already happened, your subconscious becomes your most powerful ally. It starts to work for you, identifying opportunities you would have otherwise missed, providing solutions to problems you didn't even know you had, and aligning your actions with your desired outcome. The habit of mastering your subconscious is the habit of deliberate thought. It's the daily practice of guarding your mind as you would a precious treasure. It means feeding it with affirmations, with inspiration, and with a clear, unwavering image of your desired future. It's the practice of gratitude, which tells your subconscious that you already live in a state of abundance. It is the powerful, quiet work that happens when the world is asleep, a constant reprogramming of your internal operating system to align with your highest aspirations. Your subconscious mind is a genie waiting for your command. The question is, what are you commanding it to do? In a world obsessed with instant gratification, patience is not just a virtue. It is a strategic advantage. It is the ability to endure the long, often quiet periods of growth without losing faith. It is the understanding that the greatest creations are not built in a day. A majestic oak tree takes decades to grow. A masterpiece takes years to create. A dynasty is built over generations. The modern world tells us we should have what we want, and we should have it now. We see the final product, the overnight success story, and we forget the decade of struggle that preceded it. We see the celebrity, and we don't see the years of rejection. We see the billionaire, and we don't see the bankruptcies. Patience is the antidote to this cultural lie. It is the quiet wisdom that understands that genuine, lasting success is the result of compounding effort over an extended period of time. This isn't about being passive. This isn't about waiting for something to happen. It is about being patient in your efforts, understanding that the seeds you plant today will not bear fruit tomorrow. It is the discipline of showing up day after day without needing immediate validation. It is the quiet confidence that your small, consistent actions are adding up, even when you can't yet see the grand total. The habit of patience is the habit of trusting the process. It's the ability to find joy and meaning in the work itself, not just the outcome. It is the understanding that the most rewarding parts of the journey are often found in the struggles, the lessons, and the slow, quiet growth that happens behind the scenes. It's the deep, abiding faith that your vision is not only possible, but that it is inevitable, as long as you keep walking the path. In a world saturated with noise, with constant pings and notifications, the art of being alone has been lost. We fill every moment of silence with distraction, fearing the void, fearing what we might find when we are left with only our own thoughts. But the great minds of history, from Emerson to Lincoln, understood a profound truth. Solitude is not loneliness. It is the crucible of self-discovery. This is the habit of intentional solitude. It is the practice of carving out time, not to scroll or to consume, but to think, to reflect, to sit with the quiet voice inside you and listen to what it has to say. It is in these moments of stillness that clarity is born. It is here that you can hear the whispers of your intuition, the echoes of your true purpose, the solutions to problems that have eluded you in the chaos of your daily life. Think of the modern-day titans who understand this. Bill Gates, a man who built a technological empire, famously retreats to his Think Week every year, a period of complete isolation, to read, reflect, and strategize. He understands that the most important breakthroughs come not from constant connectivity, but from deep, uninterrupted contemplation. The habit of solitude is a form of mental and spiritual hygiene. It is the deliberate act of disconnecting to reconnect. It is a time to journal, to meditate, to walk in nature, to simply be. It is in these moments of quiet that you rebuild your inner world, that you forge the mental fortitude required to navigate the external one. Do not fear the silence, embrace it. It is in the silence that you will find your voice. Closely linked to solitude is the powerful practice of mindfulness. We live our lives in a constant state of mental time travel, replaying past regrets or anxiously rehearsing future fears. We are rarely truly here. We are in the past or the future, but we are never fully present. Mindfulness is the habit of bringing your awareness back to this very moment. It is the act of anchoring yourself in the now, in the physical sensations, in the breath, in the simple reality of your surroundings. This is not some esoteric spiritual practice. It is a profound and practical tool for self-mastery. When you are mindful, you are in control of your attention, and your attention is your most valuable currency. What you focus on, you become. If you are constantly focused on lack, on problems, on negativity, that is what your reality will reflect. But when you are mindful, you can choose where to direct your focus. You can choose to see the opportunity in the challenge. You can choose to find gratitude in the midst of hardship. You can choose to see the beauty in the simple acts of your day. The habit of mindfulness is the habit of being present. It is a muscle that must be trained. You can start with a simple exercise. For 1 minute, just focus on your breath, in and out, in and out. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. This simple act is an act of defiance against the chaos of the modern world. It is the first step toward reclaiming your mind, your attention, and ultimately, your life. We have talked about building a great life, but a life built only for the self is ultimately an empty one. The grandest vision, the most powerful purpose, is one that extends beyond your own ego. The ultimate truth, the final cornerstone of success, is service to others. This is the principle that Napoleon Hill called the law of compensation. He found that the greatest fortunes and the most enduring legacies were built not by those who simply took, but by those who gave. Carnegie didn't just build a steel empire. He funded thousands of libraries, bringing education to the masses. Lincoln's greatness wasn't just in his ambition. It was in his profound service to the nation, in his unwavering commitment to a cause greater than himself. Your life's work, your ultimate masterpiece, is not just about what you achieve for yourself. It's about the value you create for others. It's about the people you lift up, the problems you solve, the lives you touch. Your legacy is not the money you amass, but the impact you leave behind. The habit of service is a profound shift in perspective. It's the act of moving from what can I get to how can I help. It's about looking at your unique skills, your talents, and your passions, and asking, how can I use this to make the world a better place? This is not a philanthropic act you save for retirement. It is a daily practice. It's in the way you lead your team, the way you treat your customers, the way you engage with your community. It is in the generosity of your spirit and the kindness of your actions. It is the understanding that true success is a reflection of the value you have provided to the world. And this is where it all comes full circle. The clarity you gain in solitude, the focus you hone through mindfulness, the discipline you build through daily action, all of it, all of this powerful machinery of self-mastery is given its ultimate purpose when it is put into service to others. It is the final piece of the puzzle. It is the one habit that makes all other habits meaningful. This is the code. This is the philosophy. This is the habit. It's the journey from the inside out. It is the decision to stop living a life of reaction and to start living a life of creation. The question isn't whether you can do it. The question is whether you will. The universe is waiting for you to make your move. Will you? We've talked about the architecture of belief, the blueprint of vision, and the unrelenting force of action. We've dissected the power of discipline, the grace of gratitude, and the necessity of resilience. We've explored the silent power of the subconscious, the quiet strength of solitude, and the grandeur of mindfulness. We've even touched on the ultimate purpose of service. But all of these habits, all of these tools, are simply mechanisms without a motive force. They are a car without an engine. That engine, that single, unstoppable force that powers everything, is purpose. Purpose is not just a goal you want to achieve. It is the reason you exist. It is the deep, fundamental why behind everything you do. It is the fire in your belly, the conviction in your heart, the unshakable certainty that your life has meaning. A life without purpose is a life adrift, tossed about by every current of circumstance. A life with purpose is a ship with a rudder, a sail, and a destination capable of navigating any storm. Think of Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. He could have easily given up. The weight of a divided nation was crushing, the personal loss was immense, the political opposition was relentless. But he held on, not just for a political win, but for a purpose to preserve the Union, to ensure that the nation shall have a new birth of freedom. His purpose was a force so immense that it transcended his own suffering and gave him the strength to endure the unendurable. Your purpose is your ultimate source of energy. It's what gets you out of bed on the days you don't want to. It's what gives you the courage to push through when everyone else has given up. It is the magnetic pull that aligns your beliefs, your vision, and your actions into a single cohesive force. To find your purpose, you must ask yourself the hard questions. What breaks your heart? What problem in the world are you uniquely positioned to solve? What would you do if money were no object? Don't just answer these questions in your head. Write them down. Meditate on them. Your purpose isn't something you invent. It's something you discover. It's been inside you all along, waiting for you to listen. Once you find it, your purpose becomes the single, unifying habit that integrates all the others. Your beliefs will align with your purpose. Your vision will be a direct reflection of your purpose. Your actions will be in service of your purpose. Every decision, every sacrifice, every triumph will be filtered through the lens of your purpose. It is the master key that unlocks every door. You have the map, the compass, and the engine. But how do you know if you're still on course? The answer is the relentless, often uncomfortable habit of self-assessment. This is not about self-criticism or self-flagellation. It is the detached, objective practice of looking at your life, your progress, and your habits, and asking the hard questions. Is this working? Am I still aligned with my vision? Where am I falling short? The world's greatest athletes don't just train. They watch the game film. They dissect their performance, analyzing every move, every mistake, every moment of brilliance. They do this not to dwell on the past, but to make a better future. This is the same discipline you must apply to your life. This is a weekly practice. Set aside an hour, a quiet time where you can review the previous week. What did you accomplish? Where did you fall short of your commitments? Where did you get distracted? What did you learn? What one thing could you change in the next week to make the biggest impact? Journaling is one of the most powerful tools for this. Write it all down, get it out of your head and onto the page. When you see your thoughts and your actions in black and white, a profound clarity emerges. You start to see patterns. You start to see the habits that are serving you and the ones that are holding you back. This is the habit of continuous improvement. It is the humility to admit when something isn't working and the courage to change it. It is the relentless pursuit of better, not just for the sake of success, but for the sake of growth. Self-assessment is the internal feedback loop that allows you to course correct, to stay on track, and to constantly sharpen your tools. Without it, you are navigating in the dark, driven by hope and not by data. You may believe that you are on this journey alone, that your success or failure rests solely on your own shoulders. This is a common and dangerous delusion. No great person has ever risen to the top without the guidance of others. Andrew Carnegie had a team of brilliant minds. Thomas Edison had an entire laboratory of innovators. The great philosophers, from Plato to Aristotle, were both students and teachers. The habit of seeking and accepting mentorship is the habit of humility and wisdom. It is the understanding that you don't have all the answers. It is the recognition that someone else has already walked the path you are on and can help you avoid the pitfalls, see the opportunities, and accelerate your growth. A mentor is not just an advisor. A mentor is a guide, a challenger, a source of wisdom, and a living example of what is possible. They see your potential even when you can't. They hold you accountable to your highest self, not your current self. They provide the invaluable perspective that only comes from experience. The habit of mentorship is a two-way street. It requires you to be a proactive student. You must seek out individuals you admire, who are already where you want to be. You must be prepared to offer value to them, even if it's just your time, your energy, or your enthusiasm. And you must be ready to listen, to be corrected, and to act on their advice. You must also be prepared to become a mentor yourself, to pass on the knowledge and wisdom you have gained. The power of a mentor is not in what they give you, but in what they help you discover within yourself. They are the catalyst that accelerates your journey from potential to reality. To neglect mentorship is to choose to walk the most difficult, lonely road with a map that is full of holes. So we return to the original question, what is the one habit that could transform your life? It is not a single action. It is a philosophy, a way of being. It is the profound and powerful habit of self-mastery. It is the conscious decision to take full, radical responsibility for your life. It is the habit of controlling your thoughts, your beliefs, your vision, and your actions. It is the habit of building your internal world with the same care and precision that a master architect builds a skyscraper. This is the code. This is the philosophy. This is the habit. It's the journey from the inside out. It is the decision to stop living a life of reaction and to start living a life of creation. The question isn't whether you can do it. The question is whether you will. The universe is waiting for you to make your move. Will you? We've talked about a lot of things that you can control, your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions. But there is one universal law that you cannot control, only understand and work with, the law of compensation. This is a principle as old as civilization itself, a concept that Napoleon Hill found at the core of every great fortune. The universe is a perfect mirror. It doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you earn through the value you provide. This is the profound realization that shifts you from a mentality of scarcity to one of abundance. You stop asking, what can I get? And start asking, what can I give? Your income, your influence, and your impact are a direct reflection of the value you put into the world. If you want more money, you must find a way to provide more value. If you want more love, you must find a way to give more love. If you want more respect, you must find a way to be more respectable. This is the habit of value creation. It's not about a single act of generosity. It's a way of being. It's the constant, relentless pursuit of becoming more valuable to the people you serve. This means investing in yourself, your skills, your knowledge, your character. It means relentlessly seeking out problems to solve, not just for your own gain, but for the betterment of others. The habit of giving is the most selfish act you can commit, because when you pour your energy, your time, and your gifts into the world, the universe, in its infinite wisdom, must pour it back into you. Not in an equal measure, but in a measure that is often tenfold, 100-fold, or more. This is the simple, elegant, and perfect law that governs all success. You reap what you sow. What are you planting today? We have all been taught to be careful, to be safe, to play by the rules. We've been told that it's better to be a quiet success than a public failure. This is the philosophy of the average, and it is a prison. The great minds, the people who have shaped the world, were not careful. They were audacious. Audacious action is the habit of moving beyond fear. It's the moment when you stop overthinking and start doing. It's the conscious decision to take a leap of faith, to invest your last dollar into your dream, to make the impossible phone call, to launch the product before it's perfect. It's the understanding that the greatest risks in life are not the ones you take, but the ones you don't. Think of Henry Ford, who revolutionized the automobile industry. He didn't just build a better car. He dared to create a system that made cars accessible to the common man. He faced ridicule, financial ruin, and fierce opposition. But his belief in his vision was so audacious that he could not be stopped. He was willing to risk everything for an idea that he knew was right. The habit of audacious action is built upon the foundation of all the other habits. Your clarity of vision gives you the direction. Your belief in yourself gives you the courage. Your discipline gives you the engine to keep going. But audacious action is the spark that ignites it all. It is the moment where you put your money where your mouth is, where you bet on yourself in a way that makes retreat impossible. Fear is a natural emotion. It's a signal, a whisper from your primitive brain trying to keep you safe. But you are not meant to be just safe. You are meant to be great. The one who wins is not the one who never feels fear, but the one who feels it, acknowledges it, and then takes the audacious action anyway. We've talked about the mastermind, a group of chosen allies. But the principle of association extends far beyond that. It includes everyone you allow into your life, your friends, your family, your colleagues, the authors you read, the podcast you listen to. Every single person, every single piece of information is either lifting you up or pulling you down. This is the habit of deliberate association. It's the conscious act of curating your environment, both physically and mentally. The people you spend the most time with will have an immeasurable impact on your beliefs, your habits, and your vision. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The question is not just who are they, but who are they making you? This is not a casual recommendation. It is a life-altering command. You must become ruthless in the protection of your time and your energy. You must have the courage to distance yourself from the people who are draining your spirit, who are filling your mind with doubt and negativity, who are comfortable in their mediocrity. This is not a judgment on them. It is a profound act of self-preservation. And at the same time, you must be proactive in seeking out those who inspire you, who challenge you, and who hold you to a higher standard. Find the people who are playing a bigger game and find a way to get on their team. Offer your value, your energy, and your commitment. The quality of your life and the magnitude of your success will be a direct reflection of the quality of your associations. So, let's bring it all home. We've journeyed through the mind, the spirit, and the action required to build a great life. But the final, most profound question is, what is it all for? The answer is not in the accumulation of wealth or power. It is in the legacy you leave behind. Your legacy is the impact you have on the world after you are gone. It is the ripple effect of your purpose, your actions, and your service. The titans of industry, the great artists, the leaders we admire their greatness is not in what they achieve for themselves, but in the enduring value they left for us. We still read Shakespeare. We still drive Ford cars. We still listen to Beethoven. Their lives were not just about their own success. They were a gift to the future. This is the habit of living a life that matters. It's the constant daily choice to put your energy into something that will outlive you. It is the understanding that your life is not a solo performance, but a chapter in the great book of humanity. Your purpose is not just about your own fulfillment. It's about your contribution to the collective. And this is where it all comes full circle. The clarity you gain, the discipline you forge, the audacity you command, the value you create, the service you provide, all of it, every single part, is a building block in the legacy you are creating. You are not just building a life, you are building a monument not of stone, but of ideas, of inspiration, of impact. The one habit that could transform your life is this: the habit of deciding to build that legacy. One thought, one action, one day at a time. The universe is waiting for you to make your move. Will you? We've talked about the power of your thoughts, but let's go deeper. Let's talk about the law of attraction, not as a mystical wish fulfillment doctrine, but as a scientific principle of the mind. Your mind is a broadcasting and receiving station. The thoughts you hold, the beliefs you nurture, and the emotional frequency you radiate are constantly being broadcast into the universe. And in return, the universe must, by its very nature, send back to you a corresponding frequency. This isn't magic. It's a fundamental truth of human experience. You see, your subconscious mind is a goal-seeking mechanism. It doesn't understand don't want. It only understands what is. When you constantly think about your fears, your problems, your anxieties, you are not just thinking about them, you are commanding your subconscious to find a way to make them your reality. You are, in essence, attracting the very things you fear. But the reverse is also profoundly true. When you hold a clear, vivid, emotionally charged image of what you want, when you believe it, feel it, and speak it as if it has already happened, you are broadcasting a powerful signal of abundance. You are commanding your subconscious to find a way, to identify the opportunities, to provide the solutions, and to move you in the direction of your desired reality. The habit of mastering the law of attraction is the habit of deliberate, conscious thought. It is the relentless discipline of feeding your mind with what you want, not what you don't. It's the daily practice of visualization, of affirmations, of acting as if you already are the person you want to become. This is not about passive wishing. This is about active creation. It is the powerful, quiet work that happens behind the scenes, a constant reprogramming of your internal operating system to align with your highest aspirations. The universe is always listening. What are you telling it to do? In our culture, failure is often seen as a final verdict. It is a scarlet letter, a sign of weakness, a reason to give up. This is a lie. The single greatest difference between the person who achieves greatness and the person who remains in mediocrity is not their ability to succeed, but their relationship with failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a critical component of it. It is the necessary feedback loop that tells you what you need to change, what you need to learn, and where you need to grow. Every great invention, every masterpiece, and every enduring legacy was built on a mountain of failed attempts. Think of Michael Jordan, perhaps the greatest basketball player of all time. He famously said, "I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." He missed thousands of shots, lost hundreds of games, and was even cut from his high school varsity team. But he never saw these as failures. He saw them as data, as lessons, as a reason to come back stronger, smarter, and more determined. The habit of embracing failure is the habit of detaching your ego from the outcome. It's the understanding that you are not your failures. You are the one who learns from them. It is the courage to take a risk, to try something new, to launch your imperfect idea into the world, knowing that it will probably fail, but knowing also that each failure is a stepping stone on the path to your eventual success. The habit of failure is the habit of continuous learning. It's the discipline of looking at a setback not with regret, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? What do I know now that I didn't know before? How can I use this to make my next attempt better? You are not a failure when you fall. You are only a failure when you refuse to get back up. We've talked about vision, but now it's time to build the master plan. A vision is the destination. A master plan is the map, the step-by-step blueprint that will get you there. This is where your abstract dreams are translated into concrete, actionable steps. A master plan is not a vague to-do list. It is a detailed, structured document that breaks down your grand vision into a series of smaller, manageable projects. It sets deadlines, assigns resources, and defines the specific, measurable actions you must take every single day, week, and month to move toward your goal. Think of how a great architect builds a skyscraper. They don't just start laying bricks. They create a blueprint, a master plan that details every single component from the foundation to the spire. They know exactly what needs to be done, in what order, and by whom. Your life is no different. Your vision is your skyscraper. Your master plan is the blueprint. The habit of creating a master plan is the habit of turning your dreams into a project. It is the discipline of thinking in reverse, of starting with the end in mind and working your way back. What does your vision look like 1 year from now? What about 6 months? What about 1 month? What about this week? What is the one thing you must do today that will move you forward? Your master plan is a living document. It will change, it will adapt, but it will always serve as your North Star, a clear and unambiguous guide that tells you what you need to do, even on the days when you don't feel like doing it. It is the antidote to confusion and the engine of your momentum. We have talked about all the tools, all the habits, and all the philosophies, but all of them are meaningless without the final, most crucial component, the indomitable spirit. This is the unbreakable will, the unyielding resolve, the deep abiding belief in yourself and your purpose that cannot be shaken by any storm, any setback, or any failure. This is the quality that defined figures like Martin Luther King Jr., whose dream of a more just world was met with violence and hate, but whose spirit could not be broken. It is the quality that defined Marie Curie, who worked in a dilapidated shed, facing skepticism and poverty, but whose spirit of scientific inquiry could not be extinguished. The indomitable spirit is not something you are born with. It is something you forge in the fires of adversity. It is the muscle you build when you choose to get back up one more time than you fall down. It is the quiet confidence that comes from a long history of honoring your commitments to yourself. The habit of cultivating an indomitable spirit is the habit of never, ever giving up. It's the decision you make in the darkest of moments, when all evidence suggests you should quit, but a voice inside you, the voice of your purpose, tells you to keep going. It is the final, most powerful habit of them all. So, let's return to the beginning. What is the one habit that could transform your life? It is the profound and powerful habit of self-mastery. It is the decision to take full, radical responsibility for your life. It is the habit of controlling your thoughts, your beliefs, your vision, and your actions. It is the habit of building your internal world with the same care and precision that a master architect builds a skyscraper. The universe is waiting for you to make your move. Will you?